we're going to just walk around the yard and the gardens and make our own special blend of tea. So over here, I have just let the mints go. This is Spearmint and Peppermint, and it's just gorgeous and lovely. I've been cutting it all summer. I don't need much for a pot of tea. I cut it above the leaves, and that way it can keep growing. It'll just get wider at the bottom and it'll keep shooting out. When I'm making an herbal tea, just because it's beautiful and I love the look of it, at this time of year when things are starting to flower, I always try and cut a couple of the sprigs with the flowers. Peppermint and spearmint together make a lovely combination, and what you want to do with the mints is give them a piece of your yard where they can just go. They're happy in the sun, they're happy in the shade, they're happy with very, very little care. Now we're over at the chamomile. We already have our spearmint and our peppermint for our tea. When I cut chamomile for tea, I take a lot of everything. So I'm going to go all the way down to the base and take some leaves and some flowers and some stem. And chamomile and mint together in a tea are an incredibly effective digestive aid. So good for any kind of stomach anything. And look how beautiful the flowers are. Look how beautiful this tea is going to be when we make it. So now we're here at the rosemary. A lot of people don't know what to do with rosemary because it is such a very strong flavor, but it's such a beautiful thing to put in tea. A lot of people cook with it. I use it in some bath products, but people don't think that it would be a nice thing to have in tea. You don't need very much rosemary to everything else that you're putting in, but it puts in this beautiful, pungent, earthy flavor that I just love. Rosemary, it's good for headaches, digestion, stress, any kind of stomach problem. It's a wonderful, wonderful plant, and it's so beautiful. And for everything else that I'm putting in, this is all the rosemary that you need. Block Island is covered with goldenrod. It starts at the end of September. It goes for a couple of weeks. They say we have 11 kinds of goldenrod on Block Island. I have found 7. I found 5 just in my yard, and it adds a lovely flavor to a fresh tea. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the goldenrod. I also, with any plant that I'm using for tea, I use the flowers, I use the leaves, I use the stem, and it adds a nice sharp flavor, but it also smells a little bit like honey. So you've got your honey right in your tea. All right, now we're going to take a little bit of lemon verbena. The plant is really done. We've already done our harvesting for the year. It's an extremely beautiful plant. It's got such a nice lemon flavor. I wish you could smell this. It smells so bright and so fresh, and it's such a nice contrast to the mints and the heaviness of the rosemary. It just adds this beautiful light note. The last thing I'm going to put in my yard tea today is lemon balm. It's a little bit different than lemon verbena. It's something that people use often with chamomile as a digestive aid, helps with stomach ache, helps if you're just feeling a little punky. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. And again, the smell is just so beautiful. So it adds that lovely citrus note, which is so nice with the mints and the rosemary. I think that's enough to put in our beautiful tea. And now we're going to go in and make a tea that is just as pretty as a bouquet. So now we've taken everything from the yard that we want in our yard tea, given it a quick rinse, let it air dry a little bit, and now I'm going to give everything a very quick chop. It doesn't have to be precise in any way, because you want to release the essential oils by opening up the plant itself. So we've got a sampling of our Goldenrod, Spearmint, Peppermint, Chamomile, Lemon Balm, and Lemon Verbena. And we're going to give it a little quick chop because, as I said, you want to really release the essential oils. The smell coming out of here is just beautiful. And then after we give it our little chop, we just put it right into the pot of water. We're all ready to put this in. Some people like to boil the water first. I just drop it right into the cold water and let the water heat up with the herbs in it. I don't ever bring it to a full boil, and then I'll turn it off and steep it. Our yard tea that we made, and I just want to say that taking the time to do one nice thing for yourself every day, no matter what that is really, really important. It brings you joy and peace. I find making a cup of tea, these are mugs that friends of mine made, and I make it into a ritual. I take the time to take a piece of my day and stop what I'm doing, go outside, look out the window, play with the dogs, have a cup of tea, and remember all the things that I love about my life, that I'm grateful for. And self-care takes a little bit of time, but it's really, really worth it.